So if you really want to see some bullshit, just about an hour ago, I'd say, August 9th it is today, Roblox decided to release a blog post where they named off the top games of the summer. Now, unsurprisingly, guess who was number 2 in visits for both June and July? Yes, it was Julius Cole, sitting around 2 million visits per month. Now, that's not what gets me, because this has been going on for a while. It's nothing new. That game has always been up on the front page, no matter how many times, people call it bad and say that it's not, it's the same as the original with a few free models put into it. People still continue to play it. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know what, maybe they want roleplay and they like the original and they think free models somehow makes it super new and never before seen. I don't know the reasoning behind why people play these games. But that's not the part that got me. See, when you scroll down, you have the perpetually popular role-playing game. And they didn't put a picture in here, thank God, because they actually acknowledge that these games are kind of crap. Besides Work at Pizza Place, which is continued in here, or which is talked about in here. But the first thing you see is role-playing hangouts continue to make their presence known. Different Town of ROBLOXia, despite its own somewhat unconvincing name, stayed firmly in second place in both June and July. Work at Pizza Place continued in its rival, while Boys vs. Girls Island Wars and Beach House Roleplay had strong showings. Oh, I forgot to mention Beach House Roleplay was also in there. Now, for two good games mentioned in there, you had two pieces of crap. You had the different Town of ROBLOXia, and you had the Boys vs. Girls Island Wars. Now, both of these games are free models, and when you go and read what they said about the different Town of ROBLOXia, I'll repeat it, despite its own somewhat unconvincing name. So, Roblox, you acknowledge that the name is unconvincing, that it's pretty much the same as the original. So, if you're calling it different when it's not really different, isn't that, misleading people into thinking that it's somewhat different? And I plan to do on the 13th, I'm going to go back into the Town of ROBLOXia and see the differences compared to what I did back in 2013, because August 13th, back in 2013 was when I actually went into the game, and at the time it was called the Advanced Town of ROBLOXia. So now we're going to go check out the different Town of ROBLOXia 1 year later and see what it's like. I've already, peeked a little bit, and I can tell you that not much has changed. I'm sure you guys have probably gone in there and seen nothing has changed, and it's the same thing as it was a year ago, but I'm still going to go talk about it. But back to this. Roblox, you acknowledge that the game is unconvincing, yet the game is up on the front page, and you aren't going to consider that misleading. It's not as if you do anything about misleaders anyway. I mean, you leave misleading up to the actual people of Roblox to download the game, because you look at the virtual BloxCon, and I keep bringing this up because that's where they said if you see a misleading game, downvote it and you'll push it off the front page. Well, I don't know what the amount of downvotes you need in order to push it off the front page, but when the Town of ROBLOXia was first starting out, it got quite a bit of downvotes, and it still has a few downvotes, but yet it still remains up on popular because people play it. Once again, that stupid, idea of, people being a game, when people are in a game, that obviously means it's good, because that's how popular it works. That idea doesn't work. It leads to bullshit like misleading games, and that's when, you get those sex games that are up on the front page. I mean, just yesterday, I saw a game where you walk into a hotel. It's a free-modeled hotel, but then you start hearing people dying. Or, when you die, you make that ooh sound. So what did somebody do? They made a NPC that kept killing itself to create a sound of a girl moaning, and then they had entire, hotel rooms filled with these NPCs that would say things, and there was, all the stuff on the ground. I don't really want to go into detail, but, and then you had another game where it's basically the same guy just copies and pasted his place on new accounts, trying to circumvent the banning system. And it gets up to popular because people play it. And it just so happens to be that they do this at night, to where none of the admins are online. So you have a broken, a broken section where misleading games can get on there, as well as sex games, and you still refuse to do anything about it. And when you confront them about it, they say, we're going to change it soon. And I have yet to see any changes done to this Liquid Games page. Popular doesn't mean a game is good. It just means it's popular. I mean, Justin Bieber is popular, and a fuckload of people don't like him. I'm not saying you have to get rid of Justin Bieber or anything like that. I'm simply saying fix it to where, where good content is actually put on there. Now, we can all, argue about what is good content, but in my world, good content is something that you put work into, not throw a bunch of free fucking models on it. And then when people start getting mad at you for throwing these free models in there, turn around and call them jealous because you have all these visits. Oh my god, you have all these visits. That means anybody who disagrees with you obviously is jealous. They're obviously jealous. They don't it's not like they actually make free models and get mad when you take their free models or anything like that. And then when you bring up these issues to them, they make these videos, where they shoot you with a shotgun. Because just recently, there was a guy who got together with his friends in Julius School and then played Justin Bieber in the background. Great choice of music there. And decided to shoot me with a shotgun. Like, they used Cold's admin commands, which is a free model, to rename themselves Cody and then shoot me with a shotgun. So you're using a free model admin script in the process of trying to make it seem as if I'm such a rager for calling you out on using free models in your games and getting you to the front page. Good fucking hypocrisy on your end. Or, I mean, good stupidity on your end. And, that's all I really have to say on this. I mean, if Roblox were to ever, combine, or put in a list of how many people had the most game visits, and Julius Cole's game was still up on the front page, it's obvious it's going to be on there. But the real part that got me is where they acknowledge that it's unconvincing. If it's unconvincing, rip it off the front page. Your community sucks at downvoting games, because when those nasty sex places came out, as Julius Cole puts it, see, it got top rated, which means people were liking the game to the point where it surpassed downvotes substantially and got it onto popular. Or, not popular, on the top rated. That's how I found this game. I went into top rated and found that. And you think your community is going to downvote games that are, that are just pieces of crap when they upvote games that promote sex on Roblox? You really expect your community to do the work for you? A website full of kids, primarily immature kids, you expect them to do that? So, I'm probably going to have a gameplay recording in the background. That's because I just figured out how to use Open Broadcaster. I thought it was only for recording or live streaming, but it turns out it can record. After going through some problems with MP4, not converting to Sony Vegas 8, and things like it not detecting MP4 files, I finally got it working, and I find it much better than Fraps because it doesn't take up as much space as Fraps, but it gives the same quality when I run it through Sony Vegas. So if you see gameplay in the background, that's why. I don't know if you want me to keep it in the background. I just do it in there for entertainment, because usually when I'm talking, I usually end up having to go to like a black screen or a still image, which can get fairly boring over time, and I don't really like doing that. So I'm Cole Sprachens. Thank you for watching.